So we've had two new perks added into Warzone exclusively, one for perk slot 2 and one for perk slot 3. We have Tampered and we have Combat Scout. Both are going to change the game entirely. They're both in the game to push players to attack more, and I believe it's really transformed the few games I've played with them so far. But today's video I want to take a deeper look into both of these perks. What do they add to the game and how can you make the most out of these around your classes? So let's hop straight into Warzone. That's the only place you're going to be able to use these perks. One of them is actually going to go up against Ghost. The other could potentially break the entire game, and I'm going to get into that more later. But let's start with Tampered. This combines 3 pieces of armor into just 2. It really is good for those attacking players, and the moment you select this perk from your loadout, you'll actually receive a minimum of 2 pieces of armor, refilling your armor up to full. It won't refill a satchel up to 8 or your full supply up to 5, just 2, but it's a great way to grab some armor if you're in a desperate situation. Let's take a look at the numbers involved. In the traditional armor sense, if you're carrying an armor satchel, that is 8 pieces of armor. That's 50 times 8. This is what it looks like. That's 400 HP of damage protection in a normal set of armor. But now let's take a look at Tampered perk. This of course makes your armor go a lot further. Each armor piece absorbs 75 hit points of damage. So it means a satchel of 8 will go a lot further, up to 600 HP of damage protection. So yes, it's a very good perk for absorbing more damage. Plus, of course, you can apply the armor in about 2/3 of the time. Let me show you on screen how that looks right now. One strange thing I noticed about this perk is when you're shooting someone using it, you'll see a orange armor symbol as you're breaking through the armor. This is a really good way to know that this person hasn't got Ghost on, first of all, and the rest of that squad are likely to have their loadouts as well, so of course, approach with caution. But of course, with your team having more armor pieces to go around, you're going to be the hoarder. Every time a satchel's available, I recommend you taking hold of it, as you're going to need less armor overall. You're taking, of course, a lot more bullets at the cost of being on enemy radars and enemy heartbeat sensors. Of course, this is in perk slot 2, so no more Ghost. Of course, you're going to be a lot more exposed and luring a lot more gunfights towards you. So some people are going to absolutely love this. But moving on to perk slot 3, and that is going to be the Scout perk. Combat Scout is so good. This is broken, and this is either going to be the death of Warzone or maybe something that will give it a lease of life. Basically, we know there's a massive problem with hackers and wall hacks, aimbots and so on. This perk is either going to give you more ability to shoot through walls, such as what you're seeing in the background right now. Of course, I'm going to get reported. Of course, everybody's going to get reported. And it's going to lead to more people upset with the game, because of course what this perk does is if you harm the enemy player in just a slight amount, as long as they're not using cold-blooded, they will be highlighted as if they've been lit up by a snapshot grenade. And in addition to that, they'll be highlighted with a live ping for your team to be able to see and of course shoot through the walls and join in the gunfire. If everyone's using this Combat Scout perk, they'll all be shooting through walls and getting wall bangs all day, and we'll be claiming hacker so much. So this is going to negate all claims of this person's a hacker, all because we shot through the wall with a Combat Scout perk that effectively gives you a wall hack. What do you think about that in the comments? How the Combat Scout perk works is if you can inflict any damage on the enemy player through bullets or explosions, or even kill streaks, you'll actually show them up on the minimap for a red dot, just as if you pinged the player, but you yourself, or just you, will see an outline of the player for about half a second. This does not include if you hit them with a flashbang or concussion grenade. Sadly, that doesn't work. But any bullets, explosions, that will just show them up perfect, allowing you to wallbang these players so easy. Plus, if you check this clip here, I'm shooting an RPG across the map here, and it got a hit marker. I just tracked him through the wall and got it down. Completely unfair. I would never have been able to do this without the right perks on. And this now Scout perk alerted my team of where the enemies are. So RPGs are going to make their way back into the meta because EOD is going to come off the radar because people are using cold-blooded instead. Explosives through a wall to highlight the enemy players, shoot through the wall, you now know where they are, and they haven't got much defense against it because EOD will not be used because you kind of need to use cold-blooded to protect yourself. Bit of a funny scenario here, so my suggestion is what you see on screen. Any LMG of your choice, I prefer using the Stoner. This has got really good recoil control, a lot of power through walls as well. This will penetrate walls, kill players pretty quickly. Plus an RPG in the back pocket that can light up buildings before you go into them, naturally highlighting where the enemy players are. Just plow through the wall, have some fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. Any AR will practically go through walls of buildings, but the LMGs are going to be a lot more fun. If you're on Rebirth Island, shooting across map with a stoner seems unfair. It's so laser. So until we figure out what the actual meta is in regards to weaponry, I think perk-wise it's going to be cold-blooded. Probably going back to Ghost. I like Tempered, but Ghost seems to lead to more victories, if I'm honest. The late circle, everyone's using heartbeat sensors. You don't want to get viewed and shot through the wall, lit up. Let's just plough the rest of the bullets through the wall like we see on screen now. It's silly. And of course in the last perk slot we're going to be using the Combat Scout. It's clearly the best perk now in perk slot 3. By the way, High Alert had a bit of a buff. High Alert can now hear dead silence users. That might be an entire video by itself. Just want to hear the differences. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. But also let me know what you think of these new perks. Are they any good? What are you going to pick for your middle slot? And are you going to go for Amped over this new Combat Scout? Let me know in the comments. My name's Gaaba. You take care. Love you very much.